Today, I would actually like to discuss a matter that's very important to all of us. We must all pay very careful attention to this, and I thank James in Los Angeles for raising this point in some of our discussions. It's not immediately science, but it's science-related, especially as it pertains to the network marketing industry. So today's subject is compliance, and James, I hope you're on the call. And I hope that what I'm about to say reflects some of the things that you have brought to our attention in the various discussions we've had. Well, what is compliance? Why is it important to us? Simply by definition, compliance is either performing within the established laws and regulations or the act of working towards that state of being. It means following the rules. And it's not we as individuals that make the rules. It is not the companies that we sign into that make the rules. The rules are made by federal governments. And their purpose really is to make sure that we have a fair and level playing field. We are not making offers to people for participation that are unrealistic. We're not lying to them. We're not misleading to them. And therefore, compliance comes into play. There is compliance at many levels. That is, many people that begin their participation for the first time in network marketing think to themselves and state publicly, it's up to our company to attend to that. You know, Mark has been talking all of these weeks how INFINITUS has complied with all the regulations of Canada by getting the natural product numbers for the products it wishes to market here, by attending to such matters as their provincial bonding and their corporate registration. Well, that is compliance at one level, and yes, of course, it's essential that the company does this, but why compliance otherwise, and why does it involve every one of us as individuals? Well, why compliance? Monitoring and enforcing compliance is costly, so what are the benefits? And here, what I'm about to provide for you is not original thought on my part. I'm quoting from articles written by an attorney named Kevin Thompson, and this is directly from his website, but I think he does a very good job of summarizing the things that we must be concerned about. So why compliance? Well, one, it aligns us with local, state, or provincial and federal laws. Two, it offers protection of investment in policies and procedures documents. Remember, whenever you buy a startup kit from INFINITUS, you get a booklet called the Business Manual. And in it, they explain the compensation plan in great detail. And at every stage of their explanation, they provide an asterisk with the following statement. It's usually in fine print, but you must read it and you must make the people that you contact aware of it. It reads, a typical participant in the plan is anticipated to earn up to $1,309 annually. Please see the full statement of typical participant earnings on the final page of this document. Well, $1,309 as an annual income from a company does not sound like a lot of money. And perhaps some people would be dissuaded from joining a network marketing company once they become aware of this statement. So why must we make it? Well, in the old days when network marketing company was the Wild West, people who were the first into a company and at the top of the compensation plan would get up on stage and flash their paychecks. And these paychecks would be for incredible amounts of money. And they would then attempt to get the people attending this meeting to believe that with minimal effort, all you have to do is sign in a couple of people, and then you'll be making this kind of income too. Well, that never happens. Chances are that if your participation in INFINITUS or any other network marketing company is modest, then your revenue will be modest. And so the Government of Canada, in the case of this bulletin that it puts out to people, tells all companies in the industry that you must tell people in advance what their annual anticipated income can be. That's a matter of compliance. They must state those numbers so that people can make realistic decisions. So we go beyond that. The point 3 under the list of why compliance is it gives us confidence in recruiting and training. If we're making honest representations to people, we know that it's not going to come back to bite us at a later time. If you're telling people truthfully what to expect and what they can achieve, then you get to sleep at night. And that's not so easy in this world. So point 4 is communication of realistic earning potential. It's necessary in Canada. That's why they put these statements out in the first place. It's also necessary in the United States. I believe that there are some jurisdictions where it's not permitted at all to state what you're earning from the company. And this then, of course, provides insurance of fair business opportunity. We're not misleading anybody for our own benefit. Yes, it's wonderful to sign in thousands of people and obtain the benefit of their participation in the comp plan, but we need to be honest about what they can and cannot achieve. We have to tell them that, this is a job that is just as hard work as any other job that a person would have. This is a business you are running. It's not a lottery. Next, it's there in place to safeguard the positive company reputation. We want the world to know that Infinitus cares about compliance. It is very interested in the well-being of its participants, and therefore it makes honorable representations of itself to the public and to the government. And the next on this list here, point 7, is ability to unveil and remove potential cancers. That is, they're not talking about real cancer per se, not the sickness that affects so many of us, but cancers within a business. The lies, the deceit, the misrepresentation, the making of false statements, that's something we don't need. Because whenever somebody makes such a statement, it is then up to the rest of the people involved surrounding that person to make good on it. We have to correct the lies. We have to recover reputation. If your company is compliant in the first place, then those things don't become an issue, which leads to point 8, the culmination of higher company standards. Yes, we want to show the world that we are compliant. We work to these high standards, and that's with regard to not only statements of income, but statements about what our products can do. We are not allowed to make outrageous claims. This then, in turn, prevents or discourages governments tightening MLM legislation. Believe me, folks, many of you have had experience in network marketing before. We've all seen examples where it's either the FDA in the United States or Health Canada in Canada or the Federal Trade Commission in the United States that one day swoops in on a company and says, we're closing you down, we don't like the way you do things. We don't need that. We don't want that. As long as we are honest and compliant, we don't have to deal with it. And the last point on this list is assurance of the longevity of the company. Isn't that what we want? How many of you have come to me and come to Rob and Brenda and Dee, everybody else involved in the organization to say, we think we have found our final home here with Infinitus. Finally, it's not a company that's going to be one of these MLM rocket ships that are going to rise and make a few people a lot of money over the course of a year or two and then disappear. And they usually disappear over some sort of issue of noncompliance. They're breaking some law or some government agency says, we don't like what you're up to, and then closes them down. I want to go on from this point and say, last Friday before the Saturday event, here in the boardroom at the warehouse, we did have a visit from Felix and Kobe and Erickson from the company, and they gave us previews of a number of things. First, we did get to sample some of the new sachet products. They're wonderful. But Erickson then got up and gave a presentation on the soon-to-be-available to everybody website. This website was magnificent. It has tabs for product information, for the compensation plan, for the company history, for so many things. But what they were most proud of is that this then permits interaction. It's one of these replicating websites. So when you sign into the company, you get your version of this. It becomes not only the company's website, it becomes your website with your identification on it. And Erickson explained that it will have access to chat opportunities. So if you want to speak to somebody through your website, you can do so. If you want to link it to your Facebook page, you'll be able to do so. You'll be able to hook it into every other kind of social medium in which you participate. And so a lot of people that don't know any better says, great, now's my chance to step outside the company and make my outrageous claims. Well, keep in mind that the government is watching on both sides of the Canadian-U.S. border, in locations all over the world. Governments monitor websites.
Yeah. Just a question here, Mark, when you're talking about these things, and that's an important point you just brought up. But, Mark, there are some distinctions between the United States and Canada. So can you kind of relate to us? Because a lot of people in the U.S. have been concerned about some of the claims or the statements we're making here in Canada. So can you kind of, because we do have quite a few U.S. people on the line today, so what's the distinction for compliance?
Yes. Of course, a very good question, Rob, but it's a very good point. Part of compliance in Canada begins with the product license application. In Canada, because these products are deemed to be drugs, we must make label claims. For example, for the Royal Lingji Plus being a product loaded with mushrooms, the Government of Canada has agreed that we are permitted to make the statement, this product is a source of fungal polysaccharides with immunomodulating activities. And therefore, in our descriptions, we are allowed to elaborate on that permitted claim. We can say things like it enhances the activity of your immune system. We're even allowed to say how. But in the United States, the regulations are a little bit different. These products are not regulated as drugs. Instead, they are considered to be dietary supplements. And therefore, health-related claims are not permitted. We are allowed to make structure-function claims. And for an example that would go with Royal Lingji Plus, we are allowed to make a statement such as supports a healthy immune system, but that's the extent of it. Because we have proven our point with regard to immune modulation to the Government of Canada, they then let us say what we need to say about the ability of Royal Lingji Plus to enhance the immunity system. In the United States, it's a fair bit different. This is what we are and are not allowed to say on our websites. Depending on your jurisdiction, you may say what is permitted in your jurisdiction. You know, you cannot be a person with an American website to say in Canada they're allowed to say the following, because really that means that you are making that statement. You know, the governments around the world are always looking very carefully at what we are saying as individuals. So we've got to respect the company's decision to limit the statements we can make and honor them. With regard to compliance, Mr. Thompson writes the following article, and it's only going to take a couple of minutes to read, but I think it's very apropos for our purposes. The title is Compliance, Worthy of Attention. And says, your MLM business is only as strong as each associate's compliance to the company's policies and procedures adopted. Without compliance, the company is vulnerable to numerous lawsuits and loss of business. Therefore, a successful MLM will invest the finances and time associated with monitoring and removing content that is in direct violation of these policies. Readily available proof of enforcement and compliance is a necessity when called upon by outside critics. And by outside critics, they mean organizations like Health Canada, the FDA, and the FTC. And in my experience, looking at the United States, all that the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, ever wants is compliance. But it's the FTC you have to worry about. They don't care about compliance as much as they want money. You know, they are the ones that will move in and fine the company and impose all sorts of financial sanctions if they feel there are transgressions in place. You know, and that alone is reason enough for the company itself to initiate a compliance department that monitors the things that we say in public meetings, that monitor what we publish on our websites, that monitor all of our activities with respect to claims. We must represent people honestly. Tweet that just came in that says, ask about testimonials in the countries. My advice really is keep them to yourself. You know, testimonials are a wonderful thing, but anybody can make up any story and communicate it and try and convince people that it's real. No government around the world accepts a testimonial as scientific proof of anything. So, yes, when you're talking person to person in a quiet room that's just you and your friends having coffee, You'll get away with making an outrageous claim, but I recommend not making them in the first place. Certainly not in anything that is publishable, nothing that's on a website, nothing that is ever going to come to the attention of the government. You want to just say what the company authorizes to be said on product reports, your own personal website. This way you stay out of trouble. Remember, these products are quality. All you really want to do is get people to take them. Once they start to feel the benefits, there's no need to make any kind of outrageous claim. Let me now continue with Mr. Thompson's article. He says, safeguarding the MLM companies must first begin with the establishment of the policies and procedures for all members to follow. Regulations by the Federal Trade Commission, of course that's the United States, are continuing to tighten in an effort to discern the dishonest businesses from the ones that truly offer a quality product or service and a winning income earning opportunity. As an MLM company, you must recognize your responsibility to ensure that every aspect of your business is compliant with the regulations of the FTC, as well as the FDA if selling consumable products, and of course that relates to Health Canada in Canada and any other national jurisdiction that has laws pertaining to network marketing. The article then says, the FTC has remained undefeated in every case brought against MLMs with the exception of Amway in 1979. According to attorney Kevin Thompson in his article, Legitimate MLM or Pyramid Scheme, How Can You Tell? The quote is, FTC versus Amway, saving grace was policies and procedures that encouraged retail sales. So yes, companies must have policies about this in order to comply with the FTC's requirements that the money being made in the business is not only for recruitment activity, there is sale of products that is legitimate at the retail level. It then goes on to say, even with a high-quality policies and procedures document in place, there must be enforcement. Modern technology has made designing and reproducing individual marketing tools a commonplace practice. Internet blogs, forums, websites, email, etc. reach mass audiences. Unfortunately, exaggerated claims aimed at attracting new recruits often bring future legal action against the company. With all these avenues of communication, how does a company monitor effectively the marketing of its products and opportunities? After investing time and funding to create legally secure guidelines, reflect on the way that distributors or associates receive this information. Quality education, and that is the responsibility of all of us. Again, I'm breaking away from the article. It is in the best interest and legally required of all of us to become teachers. It says quality education is crucial to the success of individual compliance. Consider the availability of training materials. Offering a replicated site to each member ensures company-approved content. But again, I'm breaking away from the article. This is only to the extent that the company offers it to us in the first place. They do not have the opportunity when people want to put something that is non-compliant to know about it from the beginning. It's only by monitoring after the fact that they can discover it and demand that it be taken down. It says, mentors have a responsibility to guide, educate, and review new distributors' work. Knowledge is power. Empower your associates with knowledge of proper operating procedures. That's just as important as giving people information about the products. We are here to show people how to build their businesses properly, and compliance is part of it. Finding violations, it says, is not always an easy process. One effective means is popular search engines. Monitor the Internet by frequently searching the company's names, product names, and variations of the names. And this is essential for companies and we as individuals to do because you know very well that government agencies are doing exactly that. You will see the claims and comments posted regarding the business. Address violations promptly and legally. Unfounded postings will discourage further sales and future participation. A quality attorney who specializes in MLM law can not only defend, but also provide corrective disciplinary action against non-compliant individuals. Seek advice from a qualified accountant regarding the potential of utilizing lawyer fees as a tax deduction. This could help offset some of the costs related to enforcement compliance. And the reason why I included that in the talk is you know that this is exactly what Infinitus is doing. At the start of the process of the approach to the United States, they asked if I could recommend attorneys in the United States that would attend to all of these matters. They are now working at all aspects of compliance behind the scenes. That, in fact, is what is behind some of the delay in opening the American market. There are so many things to attend to with regard to compliance that it's taking a little bit of time to get it done. The article concludes by saying the vision of total compliance is a lofty one. Nevertheless, with proper implementation and monitoring, your MLM company will boost performance and avoid the visible as well as hidden fees associated with disregard. Compliant enforcement will pilot your company towards achievement. And that's a vital statement. This is a notion that we must all keep in mind. We know the products from Infinitus are good ones. Those who've experienced them are very pleased with what they're achieving. But what they are achieving is going to be unique to the individual. It's not going to be the same for everybody. We are striving for wellness. We're not making outrageous claims about curing this or that or the other things. Remain compliant. That will allow your business to build through the years and help you enjoy the peace, prosperity, and success that Infinitus does promise. Rob, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Mark. And just maybe one final question for Mark here before we leave, which I think is an important one. And Mark kind of hinted at that subject just a moment ago. And that is sometimes, Mark, we take products and maybe 30 seconds later, we do not feel anything. So can you kind of address that? Because a lot of us are used to companies promoting these instantaneous results. So can you address this?
Well, certainly, Rob. Also a very good point. Many companies have to resort to a bit of trickery. And, if you have a product that's loaded with caffeine, yes, then of course you are allowed to say, this will give you a quick boost of energy. But that's not the body's real energy. Caffeine is not the body's energy source. Sugar is not the body's energy source. These provide temporary effects that usually cause you to crash afterwards. Infinitus doesn't need to resort to that kind of trickery. They're not going to load up a product with niacin that causes your face to flush within a few seconds of swallowing the product just to show that it's doing something. These products are designed for long-term effect. Take them every day and allow the effects to build within you. You might not notice things that you can report to people. At the meeting, Felix Young, visiting from Infinitus, says, I take these products every day and don't feel a thing. And he said the reason for that is because he is generally well to begin with. And he uses these Infinitus products to keep him well. He's married. He and his wife have at least 3 children. A 3-year-old. And most of you know what it's like having to follow a 3-year-old around every day. It's very draining. It's very exhausting. If anything can make a person unwell, it is having to make sure that your 3-year-old is well. And so Felix takes these products just to remain well. I take these products to remain well, and that's what we need to promote with people. These are real products that deliver real health benefits in terms of wellness. There's no need to attempt to mislead anybody about them.
Very good, Mark. And I think, what we understand from these products, there's a transformative effect over a period of time, and it's really balancing or nurturing the qi, the balancing the yin-yang, and, of course, the zhang fu, that the proper maintenance of the organs of the body.